Hello and welcome. My name is Stacy Williams and I'm the caseworker at Waterford Youth Assistance. WYA's mission is to strengthen families and youth and reduce the incidence of juvenile delinquency, child abuse, and child neglect through community involvement. WYA's Family and Youth Education Committee is excited to announce their series of short educational videos for parents and youth to learn about a variety of topics impacting the Waterford community. Next, I would like to introduce Tracy Ross, our Family and Youth Chairperson.
Thank you, Stacy. Hi, my name is Tracy, and today I would like to introduce our guest speaker, Lisa Kaplan, who will be providing a short educational video on alcohol. Lisa has been in the addiction field for 27 years, having worked at CARE of Southeastern Michigan as a clinician and as a program coordinator in the prevention department. She currently runs the community education department and serves as part of the clinical treatment team at Henry Ford Health Systems Maple Grove Center in West Bloomfield. Thank you for being here with us today, Lisa. I'll turn it over to you.
Okay. Thank you for having me here today. I want to share some information that parents need to know about alcohol. So we all know that the legal age of alcohol use, possession, and purchase is 21 in Michigan. But we also know that children younger than 21 have access to it. Well, how do they get it? Often from their friends who get it from family members. So parents have a supply of alcohol at their house, and sometimes it's locked up and sometimes it's not. But even if it is locked up, it may not be the most secure lock in the world. So kids have access to supplies at home or at friends' houses or at grandparents' homes. So the first thing that parents need to know about prevention is lock up the alcohol in a very secure lock and monitor it. Make sure that there is no alcohol missing. The other thing is teens can have it delivered to their house. Not so hard if they're willing to pay for it. And so just be aware that if there's a strange delivery to your front door, or even to the tree in your backyard, it may be somebody delivering alcohol. So there's some short-term effects of alcohol on the body that people need to be aware of, but it really depends on how much they use, the physical condition of the individual, and of course the age and brain development of the person who is using it. So alcohol is a depressant. That sounds kind of crazy because people who use alcohol are often silly or funny or the life of the party. But the truth is it depresses the central nervous system, and it may be that the depressing part sets in after the drug wears off. So for some people, it might be a day or two later. So oftentimes there's slurred speech, drowsiness, vomiting or diarrhea, trouble with balance and coordination, upset stomachs, headaches, troubles with vision and hearing, impaired judgment for sure, decreased perceptions. People can become unconscious. People can get into a coma, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And certainly it leads to accidents like car crashes, falls, burns, drowning. And of course, continued alcohol use leads to relationship problems. So you've heard the term binge drinking, and binge drinking is typically defined as 5 drinks for males, 4 drinks for females in a short period of time. But I don't like to tell that to teens, because if they drink 1 less than that amount, they think it's okay. So what I say is that binge drinking is drinking a lot in a short amount of time. And what happens is if the body gets overwhelmed by the amount of alcohol and the liver can't process it and break it down and remove it from the system, then people get what is called alcohol poisoning. It's another way of saying they overdose on alcohol. So what happens when people get alcohol poisoning, they can pass out, they can go into a coma. Okay, so it's very, very dangerous. So what we want to teach our kids is if your friend becomes overwhelmed by too much alcohol use, you never want to leave them to sleep it off. Okay? Even if you're smart enough to turn them on their side so that if they vomit, they won't suffocate on their vomit, but people move in their sleep. So thankfully, several years ago, they instituted a Good Samaritan law. That means that if a young person or really anyone, calls 911 and asks for help for somebody that they know who has had too much, they will not get in trouble with the law. It's a Good Samaritan law. And this is preventing teens from leaving their friend to sleep it off and maybe die. So we want to teach kids to call 911 if at all in doubt, or get your friend safely to the emergency department of a hospital. So people who use alcohol also can black out. That means that they continue functioning like they normally would, but later there's a big chunk of time that's missing from their memory. So for example, they could be out partying at night, wake up in the morning, in their bed, in their pajamas, and say, I don't know how I got home. I don't remember changing my clothes. Okay, and bits and pieces of the evening before could come back to them, but not the whole picture. So this is considered a blackout. So some people will say things and do things during a blackout that they have no memory of. So if I were to promise that I am going to mow the lawn tomorrow, and you remind me that you said you'd mow the lawn tomorrow, and I say, I never said that, I may not be lying. Okay, I might have blacked out and not remember it. So very often it comes across as a lie or a broken promise, but the truth is a person can be in a blackout. Most people know that when a person starts using any drug, including alcohol, they build up a tolerance. So maybe they start with one drink and that's enough to get them a little buzzed. And over time of continuing to do that, it's not enough. So now they need 2 drinks or 3 drinks or 4, and eventually their tolerance is up to the point where they're drinking in dangerous amounts. So even teens can become alcoholic, in fact, quicker than adults, because their brain is not fully developed and won't be until the mid-20s. So if someone starts drinking alcohol at 15, let's say, they're 10 years away from having their brain be fully developed. So as they're using alcohol, it's priming their brain for addiction. So kids need to be aware of that, as do parents, that ignoring it or saying that this is a rite of passage, all kids do this, is really doing a disservice to your child and to their brain development. So there is help available for teens and for adults. There's inpatient residential treatment. There's detoxification for someone who is addicted and needs to have the drug medically withdrawn from their body in a supervised environment. And I would argue that if you are at all in doubt, you have somebody evaluated to see if they need a medical detox. Because people who detox themselves at home are putting themselves at high risk of high blood pressure, seizures, and potential death. So going to a medical facility is always the wisest thing to do. So there's detox programs, there's residential treatment, there's intensive outpatient programs, outpatient treatment, early recovery groups, and there's always support group meetings like Alcoholics Anonymous for people who have need the support of a 12-step program. And then there's programs for teenagers of people who have alcohol addictions. It's called Alateen. And for adult family members, it's called Al-Anon. So whether you're the person drinking or a family member who's impacted by it, there is help available for both of you. So I hope that this is helpful to you, and that if you have any questions about alcohol or other drugs, please feel free to contact me, Lisa Kaplan, at Henry Ford Maple Grove Center.
Thank you, Lisa, for your presentation. It was a quick introduction to a subject that requires much more time. We hope the information was helpful for you. For more information on our upcoming series videos, please visit our website at www.waterfordyouth.assistance.com.